because the president has provided inclusive governance in the country. And he said that they are not support that, what has he done for them, that they will support him. And I want to tell him what the president has done for the governors of Southeast and also for the zone. In the first place, the governor of Abia State is my cousin, Dr. Alex Oti, who is doing extremely very well. Not in a party. I want him to be in a party. And I've attended an occasion with, Governor Oti and also Senator Abaribe. And he had praised, Dr. Oti, the governor, very highly for performance. And of course, I agree totally with him and Abia people. The love and support they show to the governor of Abia State because of his capacity and a very serious shift in terms of dividends of democracy, judging from the past administrations. And so let me tell Senator Abaribe that the performance of Governor Oti is a product of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If he didn't have the audacity and the courage to release more money to the governors, Governor Oti will not be doing what he's doing. And I'm happy that Governor Oti, in my presence, acknowledged that the subnationals are part of the national government. Of course, we have the head of government, which is Mr. President. So every success recorded by the governor, and in particular the governor of Abia State, is a success that the president has offered. And so I want him to be corrected and to note that, using his own governor as an example. But I want him to also know that, before now, we were never, in the past 8 years, of the former administration, they would share service chiefs and none would come to, Southeast. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has corrected, that, I will call it wickedness. Because how will a zone be totally excluded? And so in the first service chief's appointment, he gave us a, naval chief, very strategic. And the naval chief performed very, very well, that the president had to thank him. And when it was reshuffled, he also gave us a chief, very strategic, for our sit at home, which the naval chief, I believe, is going to wipe away, because we have lost so much, in terms of, the ungodly declaration of sit at home, which is, inflicting injuries, by ourselves, on ourselves. So, just last 2 weeks, the president directed that army depot be established in Ebonyi State. And Senator Abaribe may not regard Ebonyi State as part of Southeast. And that's when I was governor, I made it very clear that even if Biafra were going to be, that Ebonyi will not be part of it. Because if he has regarded Ebonyi State as part of Southeast, he would have known that the president has favored the governor of Ebonyi State and by extension the entire governors of Southeast by providing army training depot, to tackle our, insecurity. This is very key. The Enyinnaya city, power plant, it is under the president that, the place became functional. All the bottlenecks were, set aside. And last instance, he's a lawmaker. And he has been in the Senate for a very long time. I don't want to ask what and what he has achieved for his people, because I'm not part of his people, But if we put tangibles of what he has achieved and he's questioning me, then I have to question what he has achieved. Because by saying that I didn't care about the procurement process, it's an attack on my personality and integrity. And I think that after correcting him, that he will have to withdraw the statement. Because if he doesn't, I will say more, so that we put our achievements side by side, and then the people of our region will judge, So there are 3 kinds of procurement process that the, Procurement Act proscribed. I want to tax him to go and study it and come back to tell me whether in the procurement of Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, whether there was any infringement in terms of the procurement process. And I want to educate him that if there was no ESIA, which we did, and the process of ESIA for an international funders to even participate in funding of the project, the recourse is much. It was advertised, it was discussed. There was an independent discussant, a professor, that came and did stakeholders engagement of all shades of people, and it was internationally open for comments. And at the end of the day, a certificate of ESIA was issued to us, and I displayed it. And I think our rights people can still go to the archive and then let him see that ESIA is very important. The international funders under the the Dutch Development Bank that did the evaluation of Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway Section 1, they came out with a verdict. One, the project is properly packaged. Number two, the quality of the project is of very high standard. Number three, the project was undervalued. And that's why when it was put forward for financial institutions outside the country to bid, it was oversubscribed by $100 million. So the international funders are not jokers. There are people that will even ask you to bring your grandmother before they approve any fund for you. So I want him to be educated that proper procedure was followed. And in any case, he's not interested that this particular route is passing through his community. The road between Ekotepene and Umahi, this coastal highway is passing. Just because he says it's an opposition, he has waived all the merits and all the assistance the president is giving to Southeast. And he was questioning the progress of Southeast by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I continue to say, maybe because the Trans-Sahara Road is passing between, Ebonyi, through Enugu. It's not counting Ebonyi and Enugu as part of Southeast. Otherwise, I should have known that the president has, awarded 123.5 kilometers of Section 1 of Trans-Sahara, running from, Ndibe Beach in Ebonyi State and going through Benue, to Kogi, to Nasarawa, and ending in Abuja. And that's the third legacy project, Mr. President. That project is 456 billion, 50% paid by Mr. President. He doesn't also know that the 17.5 connecting, bypass, second Naija bridge bypass, has been awarded to CGC. And our work is ongoing there, and the total cost of that project is 170 billion, 30% fully paid by this man that he said has not done anything for Southeast. He has not also known that Enugu-Abakaliki dualized road is been awarded and over 43 billion paid, 183 billion, 118 kilometers. He has to be educated that this is what the president is doing for us. He has to be educated that from Afibo in Ebonyi down to Abia, his own state, and down to Okigwe, Imo State, that the Dangote tax credit is ongoing. And that project is about 64 kilometers and is costing 196 billion. He has to be educated. He has to be educated that Owerri-Onitsha road that has been awarded to CGC, it is ongoing. He has to be educated. He has to be educated that the Enugu-Onitsha, that has been ongoing for the past 20 years, has been put to rest by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And that the first section of it is under MTN tax credit, 202 billion. The president is doing that road. And the balance of it, which is 72 kilometers, is being done by SKCC. That's 150 billion, 30% fully paid. He has to know. He has to know that artisan bridge that got broken due to, flood this thing, 75-meter length, 3 spans, Dua, is being fully completed by the president at Artisan in Enugu State and commissioned. He needs to know. He needs to know that we have 23, flyover bridge at Emene in Enugu State. That project is about 90% done. Before now, even those going to Ebonyi, going to Benue, going to Goja, will spend 7 hours on that road. But today, you don't even spend 10 minutes on the road, courtesy of Mr. President. Senator Abaribe needs to know that the Enugu-Port Harcourt has been ongoing, and the journey of 2.5 hours would take 7 hours. Before the president came on board, you wouldn't travel between Aba and Port Harcourt. Today, one full carriageway is fully completed, and you can engage one carriageway from Enugu, straight to Port Harcourt. And the governors of Southeast are very happy. They are very grateful to the president. And, I can boldly say that the president has done very well for Southeast people. And as Southeast people, we vote for Mr. President. He said he will not be voted 2027. I think Senator Abaribe was talking about himself, because both APC and Labour is going to take a seat. When you see a very, astute performer and politician, Senator Ojoso Okalo, of course Ojoso was his boss, and he was deputy governor. I don't know why he sacked him. Maybe for issues like this, darkening council without knowledge. So I can assure you that he was talking about himself. He won't be talking about the president that has been acknowledged all over the country as having taken back the country. You see, when people darken council without knowledge, it's because we have a president who is not reading the book of Lamentation, to let you know the kind of, economy that he took. He's not complaining, because he's a man of his words. He said, I saw all these problems and I took it. So there's no need to complain. It is to, attack the problems. And the worst is over. He's taking over, the country for Nigerians. And I do not say what I cannot prove. Look at the foreign reserve. Look at the stability of the Naira. Look at inflation down to 14. Yes, all the macro indices would have been taken back. And he's doing everything to trickle down to the micro, indices. The NEFLONT for students, the empowerment, renewed hope empowerment that is going to go through all the wards, the food prices coming down, and so many other things Mr. President has done. The insecurity is being fought headlong. For the first time, kidnappers would kidnap our people, and through the grace of God upon him and the very hard-working security agencies would recover them. This is what the president is doing. And I believe that if you are in opposition, be constructive. And I think that the cyberbullying, act should be deployed, so that when you say things you cannot prove, just to deceive the public, you should be able to answer to that. This is very, very critical and very important. And so, when I said boldly, President Bola Tinubu, having done all these things, that there will be no need for agitation of Biafra again. And I saw, I watched Arise this morning, and they were talking about it. And Abati said, look, there is no region that is not talking about marginalization. And so, what I then meant was that we were excluded, Southeast people were excluded from the affairs of the nation. And the president has included us. So having included us, then we can talk about marginalization alongside with other zones. They talk about that you've never been president. If I've never been president since, is it Bola Tinubu that will make it overnight by ceding his own position? No, he has to complete his 2 tenures. We are comfortable with what he's doing. We've been included. And so we can talk about marginalization, alongside with other zones. People talk about the effect of the Civil War. By including us, it means it's the right step. Whatever that went wrong, he has the capacity and the good heart, to, redeem it. It wasn't just South, it's South, part of it. So I want to boldly say that there is no need for Biafra agitation. We are better in Nigeria. Look at our resources in Southwest, in North, all over the country. And so anybody calling for, Biafra under this kind, high-hearted president who has included us is not being wise. And I'm very bold to ask our people to speak out. Let the leaders be bold to speak out, because we can't keep quiet while, people that don't have economic, knowledge and the knowledge of our administration will be darkening council without knowledge, and we as leaders, we keep quiet. We have to stand up. It doesn't mean that we are 100% okay. No region is 100% okay, but the journey has just started. And we believe strongly that the president is uniting the 6 geopolitical zones. We believe that under him, by the end of his second tenure, Nigeria would have been a united, country, where the man from, Sokoto will be in Ebonyi State, no harassment. He has equal rights with others. And this is very important. And to every, region, I ask you, when you move from one region to the other, obey the laws of the people, obey the culture of the people. Don't be more Catholic than Pope. Respect the people so that there will be no, altercation. My people used to say that you cannot become a wife and then become first daughter. It doesn't work that way. This is very important. And then I will shift from Southeast, and I still say that, look, the leaders of Southeast should, hear me out. We have been included. The marginalization, like Abati said, everybody's crying of marginalization, And I thank Ojukwe for bringing up the matter, because, it should be in national, dialogue and discussion, so that people will know that we are out of the dark ages. And I ask every Southeast person to be very low about it, but to be very bold and courageous anywhere you are. This country belongs to all of us. No one is a stranger, and no one will be a stranger. We all have equal rights. We all have equal opportunities. That's my words for them. If you break the law, I'm not part of you. If you go to a place and become unruly, I'm not part of you. But so far, you obey the laws of the land. And of course, you're humble to do your business. We have equal rights. That's the much I can say. Abaribe probably did not know that if the Southeast did not get the Minister of Works, maybe it might take a little longer for this inclusiveness to be completed. Now, we are not the last in terms of infrastructural development. We may not be the first. It doesn't mean that we must be the first, but we are happy where we are. Now, we talk about some of the policies of Ministry of Works that has helped us. Like supervision, we discovered that, supervision is a key, factor in project delivery. And so we have platforms, of all the 6 geopolitical zones. Every day you must submit to the platform, what the contractor has achieved. The quality of the work are shown, the videos are shown. The PAM secretary is in that platform, I'm in that platform. The directors are in that platform. The controllers are there. So we stay there and then be able to, monitor the progress of the job and the quality of the job. And that's why, we can boldly discuss some of our projects, because it's something we live with on a daily basis. We have passion, for doing this thing. We have, passion working with Mr. President, because he supports this our ministry very highly. He supports road infrastructure. He understands, as a bureaucrat, as a man who has succeeded in all facets of life, that the road is the catalyst that grows the GDP upon which other GDP, grew from. This is very important. With road, especially even in Southeast, people that are commerce oriented, you find out that you need roads, you need bridges all over the country so that we can interconnect and then unite for a bigger Nigeria. So supervision is very important. We've also created over 80 media supervisors. Again, they also are in platforms, and they do this independent of us. They go and they, interview, people along the project corridors. They go and they also video this and post in social media so that the public can make their comments. This is very, very vital. We've also started a program that we call, President Bola Tinubu mentorship program. And that is a situation in which, if you come to civil engineering, we have advertised, we are taking the best 10 people, civil engineers in each of the states, as directed by the president. We are deploying them to this legacy project of Mr. President and other very key projects so that they will go and learn the technology. We ask the companies to pay them, and then we make savings so that at the end of that contract, whatever is saved, by us and the contractor, we can begin to start a small startup business, for this, civil engineers, courtesy of Mr. President, and we call it President Bola Tinubu Engineering Mentorship Program. That is also for artisans, it's for carpenters, it's for electrical engineers, it's for mechanical engineers, it's for, truck drivers, it's also for, operators. So name them. And so we've advertised. And so by January, we start that program. And I think that because there is no nation that can grow their technology, by depending solely on outsiders. We have to grow our technology, we have to grow our road construction, we have to grow our people so that they will also grow others, and so the employment will also distil. We also have more or less abolished what is called variation of price, where you come and quote, and then you give us your unit rate very low, that is even lower than the market prices at the time of your quoting. And then after some time, you say you are doing CPI, foreign exchange differential, and you are doing variation of price. One day the president asked me, Minister, what is different between CPI and the VOP? But it's only one company that's been claiming that, but not under this administration. So we have stopped VOP, So if we give you job, you have to do the job. And if we give you job and there is no funding, we have a new agreement where if the federal government cannot fund the job, and then you can't wait for the time there will be money, then you have the right under the new contract to exit. If you don't exit, there's no liability on the part of government. This is very important because if a man is married to a woman and then that marriage is not working, then there must be a way, to pull out so that lives will be saved. This is very important. It protects our contractors. It protects the federal, government. This is very important. And on the advance payment, people hold the advance payment and be charging of VOP and CPI. If we give you advance payment, you have to exhaust it before we do certificate for you. This protects the federal government to ensure that there is value for money. You don't get advance payment, you go and we house it in the bank and be getting interest, and then now be having altercation with us. My certificate is not being paid. You are holding our money, and so if you have an advance payment, you have to exhaust it before we start to, give you another distance. This is very important, and I'm happy that I have a very wonderful brother, the Honorable Minister of Work State, who is fully overseeing FEMA. And we also asked him to do this press briefing, but he has to do one because he has done wonderfully very well, in spite of positive funds, So I also have a procurement officer who was here and who procured all our legacy projects. And I think Senator Abaribe should go and meet you for some lectures, who is now our new PAM secretary.
Yes.
PAM secretary in whom I'm well pleased. And I say to my minister, January I will take leave because I'm comfortable with the wisdom and knowledge and forthrightness of the PAM secretary. This is very important. Now let's discuss the 4 legacy project of Mr. President. You know, there are some people that are not just happy about Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. And I've been trying to find out why they are not happy. They don't care projects in their own zones. Why are you not happy about that project? I have not been able to find out. But you can't be more Catholic than Pope. The 9 governors of the zones, together with their people, are very happy with this project. And so why would you come from S-way and you are talking about the project? And so the people are happy with the project. The president is happy with the project. The minister is very happy with the project. The ministry is happy. So what is your problem? So section 147.47, as directed by the president, we've opened it for traffic. And Lagosians are very happy. Nigerians are very happy. You say you are criticizing it, but you see how, happy Nigerians are, which means there is something about that dream that God has made flesh through President Tinubu. So we are at about 85% completion, and by God's special grace, it will be, commissioned. We have a lot of challenges on it, and I asked the BPP, because the increments are very obvious. I asked them, please don't evaluate our submission. We like you to come to site and look at it. And that young man in BPP is a wonder. He'll be laughing with you and he'll be doing the correct thing. So it's a very strong backbone for Mr. President, and I'm very happy with him. No matter what you do, there can be no inducement. So it's a boy that we should trust for the advancement of our country. And so he sent his people that were there, and they marveled. And I'm happy we did that. Let me also announce that, by the directive of the president, we have written to EFCC and ICPC, and we've given them all the projects from 2023, as awarded, that they should go around the entire site and verify it. And I think ICPC has just concluded theirs. And I'm very happy for that, because there's nothing to hide. And that gives, credibility, to the administration of Mr. President, that there's no sacred cow and there is nothing to hide. So if you have any petition about any of our projects, please write to ICPC or EFCC, because most of them have been on site and they will be able to figure out what you are listing. I'm not saying that we should not be criticized, but let it be constructive and let it be factual. If you criticize us constructively, I will provide you the answer. And I want, Rufai. Rufai doesn't see anything good in our government, but the more you don't see good things in our government, then you are making yourself cheap. Because if 2 + 2 gives you 4, and you are saying 3, and you are shouting, flexing muscles, spending a lot of energy to come security with us, and I suspect everybody, because if you're a contractor and your work is not good, I'm coming to terminate it. You can do anything, So I always get myself well prepared, and it's because NASA, the Army Chief, the DGSSS, the IG supporting us. So I'll be appealing to the IG of Police to activate a department of the police, which is the safer highway, and then give to us in all the states, so that we can clear these roads. If you go to Port Harcourt, you see that the road is totally damaged, So that is, a big problem for us. So I will write to him, and then plead with him to reactivate the safer highways. We will appeal to contractors to give them money to fuel it, so that, and of course they help in security too, because they also help us to monitor the movement of our equipment and the materials and personnel. That's very important. So we'll do that. Now, Do you have questions to ask us? Part of the policies, of Mr. President, and we are doing just that. And in this ministry, unless your project is a very highly specialized project, like what some of the contractors are doing, otherwise, whether you're coming from Germany or China or Ebonyi State or, Abaribe, or Umahi, that of Senator Abaribe, the project cost elements are the same. If you don't want the project, don't take it. But if you are taking it, you are using concrete. It's the same concrete grade 40. You are using reinforcement in grade, trunk A route. It's Y20, the same spacing of 20 cm. Then it's the same sand content. It's the same our people are doing it, whether they're expatriate or local. So we have refused to treat anybody as superior to our local contractors. And I think the contractors should commend the president very highly. And I want to also thank the president very, very highly. He's concerned about some debts of contractors which he didn't know about. And so when he knew about it, he said he was very sad about it and has directed immediate action, under, a very high, leader, the vice president. So we have met and the president is doing something. So I will plead with contractors to go back to site. This man is not a man that will give you a promise and he will go back to it. You will all be paid. This is very, very important. And if we inherited your debt, I'm not going to work on it. I must insist that EFCC and ICPC must come so that we go and they verify what you have done in the past, because I can't attest to what you have done in the past until a joint committee will work on it, so that I hold Quran in one hand and Bible in the other hand and say, I testify in anybody's hand.
Okay, sir.
Because the festive period can swallow it.
Okay, sir.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. Chooks, hold on. Yes, right.
One house, please. You have answered the question. You see how desirous you are for your governor to come to APC. And you are questioning other governors coming to, because of the good work the president is doing. If the president had allowed, everybody would have come in. That is the truth. But it's a Democrat, and, but you see, there is a constitutional provision of rights of association.
Sure.
And so he cannot rightly and legally stop people from moving, across. PDP had it one time. Is that correct? So why are they now shouting about one party? The umbrella turn I had to. Yes. Yes.
Recently, there were issues of spilling of ambassador nominee, and all of them were clear. That's also a constraint to Nigeria. Your colleagues did that clear. Ministers, how do you say that Nigerians will expect the National Assembly to do a thorough job when it comes to spilling of people? We have seen those that passed the National Assembly, at the point in time they said they point their certificate. Nigerians are concerned with the screening method that is going in the National Assembly. What will be your take, sir?
They did an excellent job.
Thank you. Short and precise.